everybody, it's Sally and welcome to Back to Basics. This is the first true week of January, full week of January, and our question for the week is, when did you decide to have weight loss surgery? And was it before or after speaking to your bariatric surgeon? What did you thought of WLS before making the decision? These are some of our general guidelines. I don't have to follow them all, so I'll just jump on in. Why did I decide to have weight loss surgery? Well, because I've been heavy my whole life. I have been heavy since probably I was about 7 or 8. I started to get a little plump. It's funny because when I look back at my pictures, I was kind of small as a young girl. I wasn't heavy, but I got heavier and heavier for probably emotional eating reasons. And I grew up. I never changed. I mean, it was heavy. Heavy is all relative. Heavy for me, and my heaviest ever, I was 268 for a very short time. I was 250 plenty of times. And I was probably in my low 220s to 230s a lot of the time too. So that was kind of my range. Well, when I had a breakdown, basically, some things in my life got to be too much for me to handle, and I kind of had a meltdown. And I had to go on antidepressants quickly. I'd been on them before, and I knew what was going to happen. And sure enough, I gained like 30 pounds in 3 weeks. No kidding. So I knew then that I had to have that medication or I was going to lose it. And it helped, but what it did do for me was it allowed me to go to my Kaiser Permanente provider and say, am I over the line now? Can I be considered for this surgery? Because honestly, I never felt like I was heavy enough. In my mind, it was for people, I needed to have a bad BMI or health issues. I had no health issues. But I had lost 100 pounds before, over 100 pounds before, and then didn't keep it off with Weight Watchers. So when I went back, they said, yes, actually, your BMI is just over the line. And I went, score. I said, I'm doing this. I need a reason to want to live again. And so that's what I did. I got in the process at Kaiser. They do an assessment. You have to lose 5% of your body weight within 6 months, and then they approve you or disapprove you based on your psych eval and are you following the nutrition suggested guidelines and all that kind of stuff. You meet with a nutritionist, which was kind of lame. But anyway, it was the hardest thing I ever did was lose 13 pounds in 6 months. It was as if my body had shut down. Now, I think I was still taking the antidepressants, maybe, but I'd also going through menopause. So that really plays havoc with your ability to lose any weight. I'm 56 now. I was probably 52 when I started the process, maybe 51. So, yeah, that's how I did it. And I didn't get to choose my physician. Kaiser had contracts with outside surgeons, so I was very fortunate that they did have a contract at the time with George Washington Hospital in Washington, D.C., a bariatric center of excellence, and I had a excellent surgeon, Dr. Fred Brody. And I went into that situation struggling between having a band and having the gastric bypass, not getting a lot of feedback. But I got a lot of information from the surgeon's office, and basically the gentleman said to me, not the surgeon, his male nurse said, are you the kind of person that if you have to make an important change, you can just pull a little rubber band and go plink, plink, plink on your wrist and you will stop that bad behavior? Or do you need a board up the back of your head to stop your bad behavior? And I thought, well, that was rather offensive. I don't think I need a board up the side of my head, but then again, maybe I need to think about this a little longer. So went home and thought. And I thought, you know what? And he said to me, you're not exactly a spring chicken. It's not like you can come back in a couple of months or a couple of years and you still got plenty of years ahead of you to then switch to the other thing, is what he basically said. I was really rather insulted. But he was right. For me, the bypass was it because I didn't have any more time to waste. I was desperate to have a new life, desperate. I'd never known what it was like to feel normal, and that was my driving sensibility in the whole thing. I wanted to feel normal. I wanted to stop feeling self-conscious, and I wanted to be non-conscious of my physical form, as if it was nothing. like regular people don't have to fixate and obsess and worry what people think all the time. And that's why I had it. So, what were my expectations? I expected, of course, in the very beginning, when you finally get the approval, I'm thinking, I will be the only person this doesn't work for. So I'll be the only one. And that's just so not true. It will work for everybody if you work it. And with gastric bypass, that works even in the beginning. If you're not working it properly, it will work. But I'm just checking my note here. Did you want to? Yeah. Was I looking for a physical transformation only? Or was I looking to transform my life? Well, honestly, it was both. I always wanted to transform. My inner life is always what has kept me back, but I was hemmed in by my body in a way that I never thought I was deserving or worth anything because of my body. I had shame about who I was and my value in this world. Here and here, but I think as a young person thinking less multidimensionally, it was all about I am worthless because my body is not as good as everybody else's, which means I am not as good as everybody else. I had a lot of crap. I won't lie to you. I had a lot of crap. And I tried to get better. So many years I tried to get better. I had inner healing prayer, and I would, regurgitate my issues and try to do better, and never had real therapy, but oh well. But the minute I lost the weight, the minute that weight came off, the minute I had a chance for a whole new life, total change. I grew and I processed as I lost the weight. But I can tell you, for me, it was like magic. The weight came off. The weight was coming off. I could see if I just cooperated with the process, it would work for me. And all I can tell you was all that self-doubt, all that self-loathing, all that shame and guilt and crap that I carried around falsely all those years was gone. It was like gone. I still have some stuff. We all have our soft underbelly parts where we've got somebody could poke at. I'm still very sensitive, but the true joy and enthusiasm and believing that anything is possible and that I am worth it and I am worthy, that came from losing the weight. I wouldn't feel this way if I hadn't taken the weight off. I wouldn't. I never could have before. I tried and I tried. So that's my story. I had gastric bypass. I didn't get to pick my surgeon. I was very fortunate. And I'm really glad I did it. So, yeah, I recommend it. I've had many people that have known me in my previous life find me on Facebook, see the transformation, and follow. And that is sort of a burden. It's an honor and a burden. It's a great responsibility because this is not a quick fix. You've got to change everything. And I believe I gave myself fully to my process and totally transformed who I was from the inside out and the outside in. I don't eat the same way. Food is not sex on a plate to me. Food is just there for fuel. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't intoxicate me. I try to have mindful eating behaviors if I see that I'm using anything to stuff something down. I've tried to grow the whole process. And here, 4 years out, still here, still holding my own. Small rebound from my lowest, which was probably too low, but I'm here. And I hope this helps somebody. You can do it. If you want it, your dreams can come true.